Hi and welcome back. So let's start off by sanding. Yeah, I know, sanding. But this time with wet and dry sandpaper to smooth out the lacquer. It's not a very fun thing to do, but it's necessary. Because lacquer needs to have a thin, even coat, and it needs to look almost like a mirror. Or a piece of glass that is lying over the paint. And so you need to sand it down with super fine sandpaper. You have to do this to the entire body and to the entire neck, basically. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I've sped this up because it's not a very fun thing to do, and it's not a very fun thing to watch someone do. So I'm just sanding it with wet and dry sandpaper. This is a 12,000 grit sandpaper, and I'm then afterwards also going through it with a 2,000 grit sandpaper. And then I'm putting down some polishing compound, and I'm just using my fingers to move it around, and then I'm using my drill with a polishing bit in, and I'm just polishing the entire guitar, basically. You have to keep on moving because you don't want to burn the finish, so you have to always keep the drill moving. And then you can see how it's starting to shine up, and I'm just moving it back and forth until it's gone, basically, until it's been polished into the guitar and smoothed out. Now, I had some finishing problems, as I've told you earlier, so I couldn't get a perfect finish on this guitar, but I got almost a perfect finish, to the point where I felt like it was at least good enough for this one. But yeah, if I was going to sell this guitar, I'd probably repaint it, even just to make sure it was 100% perfect, but now it's only 99% perfect. And then I'm removing the tape that I put in the F-hole in the first video, or maybe the second video. I don't remember, there's been too many videos. And then I'm drilling a hole for the ground wire, because you definitely need to ground the guitar. Here you can see the ground wire. Whoa. And then I'm putting in the ferrules for the bridge and the tailpiece, or whatever it's called. Just lightly tapping them in place. The guitar is made of some very soft wood, so this was definitely not hard. I would have preferred if it was a little bit harder to put them in than this, but the guitar stays in tune and everything works fine, so it's not really that big a deal. And then I'm enlarging the holes for the control pots and the switch and the output jack. And then I'm putting in the tuners, as you can see right here. I'm going with something that looks a little bit more old-fashioned, I suppose I would say. They are definitely not vintage, but they have the tuner heads of something that looks a little bit older. I think that looks good on a classic guitar, or a classic electric guitar, like a SG. So you're gonna make a guitar, always think about like the history of the guitar and the future of the guitar, so you don't just make something completely abstract and crazy. Mostly that won't look very good. And then I'm putting in some screws in the back just to hold them in place, making sure they are not moving around. There's nothing more annoying than when you're standing on stage playing guitar and then you're trying to tune it and the whole tuner falls off. That's not gonna be a fun night when that happens. So make sure you have the screws in back. No, but I mean, if you're making a guitar, make sure it has elements of history in it. Usually that will make the guitar into something that is more, that's a more unique and better looking guitar than just something crazy and abstract. And here I'm just tightening everything down, making sure it's super snug and won't come loose. And here I'm making a guitar nut. I'm using a piece of bone, and I'm just sanding it down to the right shape. I've measured out and I've drawn out lines, and I'm just using my belt sander to make sure everything is flat and follow the different lines that I've drawn so that it has the right dimensions. You can see here I'm sanding it and I'm matching it. And here you can see the lines a bit closer that I'm moving up to. This is a bit sped up, so yeah. And then I'm just going through the different grids, making sure it gets a nice and even and soft finish. You don't want any scratches in the nut because maybe the strings will catch on. And here you can see I've moved up to wet and dry sandpapers. I'm all moved to a 1200 grit sandpaper. And then I'm polishing it with a file for nails because they are really, really, really fine graded. So you can almost see your own reflection in the nut afterwards. Which is something I recommend you do if you build a guitar. There's no sense in cheapening out on any step. Make sure you make the best guitar you can possibly make. And then I'm putting on the controls that I made in an earlier video. And it's really fun because I feel like they really match the guitar and they look unique. So it's really fun to have something that makes your guitar seem like it's a one-of-a-kind guitar. And then I'm putting on strap buttons. Yeah, it's basically the last thing you do. It's all you need. Making sure I'm drilling a nice hole and then I'm screwing it down. And I'm always using longer wood screws for my guitars because I feel like it's the one most important thing, that the strap button doesn't come loose. So I'm always making sure that I'm using something extra good. And now I'm drilling a hole for the pickups so they can go to the controls. And then I'm putting the pickups in. And these are the pickups that came with the guitar when I bought it. They are not very good pickups, but I'm using them now because I don't really know what pickups I want in this guitar. So if anyone has any suggestions of the pickups I should switch them out to, I'd love to hear about it, because I'm really looking for something new for this guitar. I'll definitely make a demo of the guitar once it's done, but I'm not really pleased with this pickups. I usually want something a little bit more high-end for my guitars. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye bye!